Okay, so here's a challenge. I think we, as subject matter experts, end up telling people a lot about our subject matter. And perhaps as we progress through our careers, we don't nurture the skills in ourselves required for the active learning as much as we do the perfect conference presentation.
That's right.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of skills development required to get really good active learning going in class.
And it's also skills and planning as well. And this idea, back to that first quote about lecturers feeling the loss of control. In fact, when you're planning a good learning design and you're planning a learning activity, even if you're not actually involved in the activity or controlling it by doing it, the control that you've got there is that you've designed it and then it will roll out as it does. You may not be able to control every moment of it, but you can design it in advance and then let it happen, which means that you can design it in advance and let it happen again the following year. It's actually can be a really good way of making the most of your time as a teacher to design the activity and then just let it become something you don't micromanage in the moment, but you allow students to take it the way they want to.
Yeah, for the past 6 semesters I've been teaching this postgrad unit, and I have basically surrendered the control of these face-to-face classes to the students. I now give them an agenda. The agenda says you'll have to pick someone to timekeep, to scribe and to facilitate this group, and they pick those people, and it's got some questions to discuss and clear links to the assessment and learning outcomes in those questions, and week by week they work through these. It's gotten to the point in that unit, and I feel a little radical here, but I don't show up to all of the classes because I sort of don't have to. I've got many of these classes running. The students run them themselves. This unit has excellent student satisfaction. Last I checked, it's in the top 10 for the faculty. And I don't do a lot in terms of that teaching, but I do a lot in terms of instructional design.
And it's that design, that scaffolded design. So the learning is scaffolded, but the students can take it, to the limit. They can take it the way they want to be given that sort of basic scaffold, basic instruction, and then to be able to do it themselves is, has a lot more potential as a learning experience for the students. I'm not surprised that they will find it very satisfying because they're actually not only, they're not just taking in content here, they're actually doing the teaching, applying the knowledge and organising the activity themselves.
It's really interesting teaching in that sort of mode because when I do go to class, I have to step back from being the subject matter expert. I have to jump back into being a practitioner in this field. And I talk in that way and without this sort of authority of the research I've read on this topic or whatever. But it's okay because I have accompanying lectures, which are short, 10, 20 minutes online, pre-recorded, and that fulfills my need as subject matter expert to say a lot of smart stuff. I've shifted that out of face-to-face class. I don't need to do that.
And if you don't have a preconceived destination in mind, then you're not sort of cutting students off from what they might learn. They might have expertise in a certain area that you don't. It means that they can take that as far as they want to. If you've got all your students and you want them all to come to the same result, like everyone does a prac, for example, and everyone needs to achieve the same result, then you're going to get a whole lot of students doing the same thing and getting the same result. But you're not going to find out what they can do. They're not going to find out what they can do. They're not going to find out what they might do next and how to really sort of innovate, be creative, make the most of ideas that we don't know about yet. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We've just got to know how to go with what we've got, build on our own knowledge. And by relinquishing that control over the learning design and just creating an environment where they can learn, you're not sort of limiting it to what you know, but allowing the students to move on.